everybody that comes in is muted already?
Yes, automatically muted. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start. Thank you, every one of you, for participating in this, and hopefully you'll get some enjoyment out of it, like we will. First thing I need to do is give you the Zoom etiquette reminders for the large group presentation. You will be muted upon entering. This will help remove any background noise and distractions. Once the meeting begins, cameras will be on. Please position your camera properly so we can see your face and you can be at eye level. If you have a question, comment, or emotion, please use the chat feature at any time. You can send a message to an individual or the whole group. We will acknowledge you and unmute you as needed. Shannon is our mouse in the corner who's doing all this for us, and you can't see her. Once microphones are turned on and it's opened for questions and discussions, please physically raise your hand and we will call on you. Don't forget, when you have your camera on, we can see what you are doing and maybe shouldn't be doing. For those of you who still have your pajamas on, we can see you. The annual meeting will be recorded so others who aren't able to attend can view it at a later date. That's the first thing on the agenda. Okay. So I'm trying to talk slow. Okay. The next thing is I need to welcome everybody. This is, a lot of stockholder meetings were on Zoom this year, and people are getting so used to doing this, as we are with our board meetings all the time, and you are with all the different presentations that we have here. And so it's been really fun, and it's been a learning experience for a lot of people. So first thing I need to do is I'm just going to read a little report that I turned in. The first few months of 2020 were sailing along great. Then COVID-19 pandemic appeared on the scene. The center had to react to the challenges presented by the pandemic in several ways. We closed the doors to the public, reduced staff presence in the building, continued to provide transportation and nutritional services to our seniors, only to say a few of the that we did. The excellent and very talented staff, along with the board members, created new ways to provide services to the members. Some of those were the virtual Zoom presentations, drive-in movies, parking lot bingo, and assurance calls to our members, just to say a few. The staff and members made thousands of face masks that were provided to first responders, frontline workers, and hospitals, along with selling them for a profit for the center. As staff and board members, we had to make some very unpopular decisions for the betterment of the center, but they all were the correct decisions for the public and the members. I have confidence that in 2021 will be a better year overall for the center, and look forward to continually working with the present board and staff to make all this happen. That's my second thing. Okay, so now I would like to introduce the board. Is this when you put the picture up there? Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't see it.
She's about to, will you share them?
There we go. There's our board of directors and our staff. So I was elected the president of the board by you nice people last year, thinking that this was going to be a piece of cake. Well, I've been attached to Debbie's hip since March on a daily or weekly basis. Our vice president is Mr. Bob, and as vice president, his major goal is fundraising. As you know, we did the fundraising we did was very limited this year, so a lot of it was canceled, but Bob came up with some new ones for next year for us. Vice President of Membership is Lynn, and she's worked very hard on people renewing their memberships and getting some new members. And yes, we are still getting new members for our center here. Our treasurer is Steve Lockwood, and he's our money man, and we try to keep our meetings for his part of the meeting to about 10 minutes. The immediate past president is Doris Rollins, and Miss Doris has been really good, giving us all kinds of information about how to do things, and she's handling the election. So we'll see who gets elected because she took care of that this week. Our secretary is Miss Sherry, and she's been doing a tremendous job as secretary, and it's like a full-time job for her. Peppermint Patty is our activities chairperson, and all of the activities we've been doing this year have been presented in a different way, and she and her committee have done really good with that. Al Wansteiler Al is not here today, and he sent me this email, and I thought you would enjoy it. Sorry, boss, I'm not attending the meeting. I'll be out doing my liaison job at a special meeting at the Douglas County Senior Services Foundation, called to decide how to distribute our funds to the grantees. I'll get some funds for the senior center. And that's one of the jobs that he does for us. Cynthia is new this year, and she's our sports chairperson. And regretfully, everything she touched, we canceled this year. But next year, I'm looking forward to signing up for golf and softball, so we'll be doing those things next year. Mr. John is our transportation person, and he's been busy even though he's had some surgeries this year. He's been really great about taking care of all of our cars and trucks for us. The other person who's on the board is Wendy, and she is our legal person. And she has a client this afternoon, so she wasn't able to be here with us, but she wanted to tell everybody Happy Thanksgiving. And then we have our wonderful staff of Miss Debbie, who's our director, and I'm sure everybody knows who all these people are that are on our staff. And I would like to thank her very much. She has been able to acquire more than $70,000 in COVID money for this year, so that we're not using our general budget for anything to do with COVID. You're talking about anything to sanitize everything, all the way to whatever we need for the cars and trucks and everything. Tina is our transportation manager and office manager, and she's done a great job because we did have to make sure we provided transportation and nutrition for our people that need it. Mary Jo we had to cancel a couple of the events that she handles this year, which she wasn't very happy about that, but she understood. And so we'll have them for next year. And so she's doing the online auctions that we've got going on right now. And Miss Julie is our volunteer coordinator. And if you haven't signed up to be a volunteer for us, please do that. Give Julie a call and she'll get you on the list. We still have lots of volunteer things that we're doing. And Miss Shannon, our little mouse over in the corner here, she is the activities coordinator, and she does our newsletter and a tremendous job with that. Miss Amber is our front desk, and she's the one when you walk in, first thing she does is take your temperature, and then she asks you 5 questions before she lets you come in. And then we have Miss Susan, who is our kitchen coordinator, and at the beginning we had just frozen foods, and now Susan has hot meals going out to these people. So this just gives you a feel for what the jobs are for these people, and they're all doing a wonderful job for us. Okay, Miss Debbie.
All right, if you want to bring that slideshow back up.
Yep.
So I'm just going to share with you guys some of a recap of how this year has panned out. We started with one direction and totally reimagined and redesigned the senior center. So if you'll just hit the space bar, it should take you to the next slide. Oh, just 1 second, we'll get it up. All right, so our membership, I'm going to share some parts from Lynn Kroloff's report. We're at 915 members as of October 31st. We were on target to be over 1,100, maybe even 1,200 this year. So, but we still got 915 strong members that we're really happy to have. And we actually had 85 new members join us this year. Your membership is greatly important to us, as Lynn states in a little quote that I've got here on the corner. But we wanted to share some of the pictures on how the year began when we were out in the public. So if you take a look at some of those fun trips. Our next one is on our programs and services and activities. Prior to COVID, we were producing over 130 activities. Now we're doing about 20 a month, but we are doing activities and programs for you guys to stay active and engaged in and have stuff to do at home. When the weather was great, we had some of the parking lot programs, and we hope to bring those back when the weather changes back towards us in the spring. Those were really a lot of fun, and I hope you joined them. And we got a quote from Patty here too. So next one is our transportation services. Pre-COVID, we were running 750 to 800 rides a month. Right now, we're doing about 350 critical, essential, medical, and nutrition ones. These ones are the ones that count right now. We're getting people to dialysis. We're getting them to their doctor's appointments. We're helping with nutrition, grocery stores, or we're doing deliveries of grocery to them. So these ones are highly critical to the senior population. We are serving 360 riders, and we've added 61 new riders this year in the program. Our nutrition services, as we've redesigned who we are, we have seen with COVID the Meals on Wheels program growing. Since March, we've done over 12,000 meals delivered through Meals on Wheels and curbside. This is the frozen meal program. In September, we brought back the hot lunch program with Susan's help and everything. And since September, we've served 273 hot meals out of the center, curbside and delivered to those that are homebound. We also added shopping services where our volunteers personally shop for the seniors. They go into the grocery stores with the shopping list, shop, and then we deliver that for them. We're adding a new service since we are in a new phase of COVID again, that if you guys need grocery shopping and can order it online, just let us know. You order it, let us know. We'll go pick it up and we'll bring it to you. And then we do also have that personal grocery shopping services. This is for Bob. This is Bob's recap of our fundraising for this year with the help of Mary Jo and Bob. We have had a very successful year considering the obstacles that have been put in front of us. So just to share some of the numbers, as you can see, our golf tournament was very successful. The Loving Life Challenge was. We were able to share our numbers here for the holiday wreath celebration, just shy of $1,200. Last year at the craft show, Mary Jo, I'm probably gonna get the numbers a little off. I think it was close to 13,000, 14,000, and the year prior was only 900. So we're right in between those numbers and really happy with the success of it and looking forward for the bidding for giving auction. Dining to Donate, that one kind of fizzled real fast in February. As you're getting ready for your Christmas shopping, remember Amazon Smiles, pick Castle Rock Senior Center as your charity of choice, and we get a percentage of that. King Supers, and if you want to, stocking stuffers, Meadows Car Wash gift certificates. We have 2 upcoming fundraisers still left for the year. The bidding for giving auction, which starts on December 1st, and I can assure you, Mary Jo has been working very hard to get all those descriptions up, and there are some beautiful baskets. And then we do have Colorado Gives Day coming. And if you want to, you can go on now and schedule your donation for that day so you don't have to worry about doing it on December 8th. Okay. This is our lovely treasurer and our proposed budget. This is a condensed version. And he is going to go into detail on the proposed budget that you'll be voting on here shortly for 2021. So I just wanted to share some pictures of our center reimagined. Like I said, we had to redesign, reimagine who we were and what we're doing. We put out care packages. We did curbside delivery. Meals on Wheels have greatly increased. You can see the volunteer hours donated so far this year. We could not do what we do without that. Julie has been instrumental on making sure whatever skill sets you've got, we will find something for you to do. So thank you again for that. And if you want to do more, call Julie. She would love to hear from you. Next slide is some more pictures of what we've been doing this year. These are some of the activities, take-home kits, Zoom calls. We had sewing angels make tons and tons of masks. Parking lot bingo, reassurance calls for those seniors that are a little bit more isolated or not having family locally. So on my last slide, we are still loving life in the second half. And this is one of my favorite pictures of Phyllis, so, and Logan. So,
And Logan.
2021 is going to be a better year. We believe that. So hang in there. We're going to make it. And if you want to go ahead and run the memorial slide, do you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
So this year we have lost seniors. We've, since you guys aren't able to come in here and see them written on our board there, we've been putting them in the newsletters to share with you. Here's a moment of silence and remembering of those who we've lost in 2020.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Steve.
Oh, thank you. The 2021 budget, if you've had a chance to look at it in the handouts that were sent out, you're going to see that it is slightly lower than the 2020 budget. And if it was even, I'll say it was even lower than that. We were really down on the expense side of about $41,000. But it shows a little less than that because we actually increased our reserve contribution, the monies that we will use in the future to replace our fleet, cars and buses and wheelchair vehicles and so forth. So that for fleet replacement purposes is now fully funded. And developing the budget, what we did is the same thing we've done in years past. We took the basic budget for the current year, 2020, plussed it up a small percentage, and then went through line item by line item and added and subtracted known changes that we would have. The only unknown, of course, is that we do not have any idea what COVID is going to do to us during the 2021 operation cycle. But I guess rest assured that the board reviews the budget, expenses, and income every month, and will do the same in 2021 to make sure that we can adjust as necessary based on how the COVID environment changes for us. Debbie, did you want to talk just briefly about the way you have affected the budget for the coming year?
we've been very fortunate this year that there has been grant opportunities to us to request COVID funding for general operating and for COVID assistance on through the CARES Act. Right now, we've got a grant through the county for the CARES Act to be able to add filtration systems on our bus for the air, HEPA filters, more sanitation in here for spraying systems for the center air purifiers and all that. We've been also very fortunate with our funders that we were receiving money from to let us reallocate that money to general operating instead of activities and the designations that they originally had, so that we can continue to function and provide the programming that we've been able to do at no and very little cost to you. A lot of these Zoom presentations do cost money. With the different programs that we've had come on, but we are giving them to our membership at no cost or very little cost with those take-home kits and things like that. So very, very fortunate that we've been able to do that this year.
Thank you very much. We are gonna, I guess we do need to make a vote on this particular budget for next year, and we are gonna discuss the budget, the operating budget for 2020 at the tail end of this meeting. So we need a motion for the 2021 budget.
We need a motion from membership and nobody on the board to approve the 2021 budget. Or if you've got any questions,
If they'll just raise their hand.
just raise your hand and we'll see.
Larry?
So
And
if you're
Mary.
not-
Hand up there.
Yeah,
Larry, Mary, and Charlie.
yeah,
So if those guys will unmute themselves.
they have to unmute themselves.
I'll second.
Mary second.
I said yes.
Okay,
Mary first.
so it's Larry and Mary.
Okay,
Okay. Okay, any other discussion on the budget? All those in favor, raise your hand. Opposed, same sign. Okay, it's passed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, and the next one on the agenda is Miss Doris. And since we're in code red again, what the board decided was Doris took all of the ballots at her house and opened them up herself and counted them so that we didn't have people in here. So Miss Doris, you're on now.
All right, thank you, Phyllis.
You're welcome.
And I was glad to be reminded as to what our membership count was right now, because we received a total of 319 votes by combination, but mail or handed, and that is a third of our current membership.
That's good.
So that is a really positive
Yes.
results. We're really ecstatic that we went to mail-in ballots, or that with well, at least mailing them out.
Yep.
So the results of this election, is that the two members that were up for nomination won, dare I say, by a landslide. There were no write-ins. There were a few people that did vote. I don't understand that, but there was just no comment. But there's no doubt as to the leaders that the membership has selected. So congratulations to Sherry for being re-elected, and to Bob Halverson for continuing. I'm not sure if you're aware how we're appointing, if you've managed to read all those wonderful articles we try and put out about the elections. And that's if we have a vacant spot. Fortunately this year, and very fortunately, we did not. And we find somebody in the interim, the board will interview them, and if they pass their background check, the board will temporarily appoint them to the position and see how they can handle it, if they have the energy to do that. And if they demonstrate the ability to do that, and Bob fortunately did, we ask them if they'll run for election. That is one of the stipulations. So thanks to all of you for voting. I have, if you go online and you pull my report, I have concerns about recruiting because that is my job for the board as well. I have concerns about recruiting for next year because I've lost touch with the membership. I recognize most of the faces online today at the Zoom meeting, but like Lynn has pointed out, we have 85 new members, and getting to know the members, their interest and their energy level is a challenge right now. So please share. Please let me know if you have an interest in running for the board. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doris.
Liz.
And I would remind the membership that the executive board is, they're nominated and voted on by the membership. The committee chairs, those are voted on by the whole board. But after Doris, runs them through the gamut to make sure that they fit in. Okay? Okay. Steve, do you want to talk about the budget now before we do the next thing?
Sure.
Okay.
If you look at the 2020 budget year to date, you're going to see that we are down fairly significantly compared to last year, but that's all COVID related, of course. And the only thing that offsets that are additional expenses that we have incurred because of COVID. Of course, along with that, much of that came additional funds that Debbie was able to find for us. So right now, our budget is looking very good year to date. I wish we had more activity monies in there, but we don't. Hopefully next year we will. So the budget is in pretty good shape at the moment. And if you want, I can continue, or do you want to just stop there? I did want to mention just briefly investing in foundation.
Yeah, but we need to approve this.
Okay.
The board needs to approve it.
All right, we need I guess if there's any discussion needs to be done, if not, then we need a motion to approve the budget, the current year's budget.
And that has to be someone who's on the board.
I'll move.
Sherry,
Okay,
Any
and we
second?
need a second. Doris is seconding. Okay, any more discussion about the current budget? Hearing none, the board members will vote on it then. All those in favor, raise your hand. Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Thank you.
thank you. I did want to just go on and briefly mention our investments for this year. We did have, and I did put this in the treasurer's report, but they're up again. So I thought I'd like to bring you up to date in just the last week. Right now, we're hovering right about 11% growth in both the foundation funds and the reserve funds. I like to talk about that because that was one of the first projects I got to work on with the finance committee, and that was developing an investment strategy for the senior center. The senior center previously was earning 1% and 2% a year, and we're now at 13 to or 11% this year and 13% last year. I just like to see our money working hard. I mean, that has always been beaten into me by my parents that you got to make your money work hard for you because it's another asset. So we did take a beating at the beginning of COVID, and all of those losses have come back, and we're still up over 11% for the year. I think those are great numbers, and I will share lastly that these are not investments that are subject to big losses, but they are investments that do buy us some good gains, much better than certificates of deposit. So,
Steve, will you share with them what the foundation account is? You've
Yeah.
got a lot of new members on here, or members that aren't probably familiar that we have a
Sure.
separate account.
And I can't tell specifically about the history of the foundation, but as I understand it, the foundation or the senior center was given some property 40 years back or better.
Mhm.
And that property was not property that the senior center was able to use. And so when I say property, I'm talking real estate property. And so they sold that property and put it into a separately owned nonprofit organization called the Castle Rock Senior Citizens Foundation, which is wholly owned by the senior center. So we keep that money, and I say we being the board, we keep that money fenced off and set aside for future use if we should decide to build our own senior center or buy our own land or whatever we want to do with it. So for the last 40 years, that money has been sitting there growing. And I'll say it's been growing rather pathetically until 2 years ago.
Right.
And now it has really taken off. We're up over $100,000 in the last 2 years.
Mhm.
So if we'd have done that back in the 80s, we'd really be in good shape.
Yeah.
Right now, we have a grand total of about $410,000 sitting there, which is a nice sum of money, but as anybody that follows real estate knows, it certainly is not enough money for us to buy or build our own facility. So we're going to stay here and we're going to give Castle Rock great big hugs and we'll hope they keep us in this building here.
That's right.
That's kind of in a nutshell what the foundation is.
And I would share in the same vein too. We get this space, we get janitorial, we get our phones, we get our IT, we get, and utilities, we get,
Snow removal.
yeah, snow removal, I mean, the whole 9 yards, parking and everything. The town gives that to us, to the senior center. That's worth about $200,000 a year, along with transportation money that they give to us too. So whenever you see your city council member or our mayor or whatever, be sure and thank them for that, because that is a really good deal, which is one of the reasons why we can't afford to move. Trust me, I've been there and done that before. Before we do a couple of more things, I want to remind you that next year our senior center will be 50 years old. And so kind of keep that in mind throughout the calendar year of 2021 as we go on, that it's hard to believe that it's been around for 50 years, but you know, it started at somebody's house and then McDonald's and then a church and then finally their own building and then finally here. So it's been around for a long time. And very few of those people that started it are still with us. In fact, I don't know that any of them are.
I think we've got a couple.
I think there's still a couple, yeah.
There's like 2
Yeah.
or 3.
Yeah, so, okay, a couple more things that I need to do. I would like to do recognize our staff for all the wonderful work that they do on a regular basis, let alone what we've put them through this year. So I'm going to use Debbie as representing the staff. And I'll just start out. You don't have to stand up. Most women are geniuses at raising to the occasion, and all of our staff are all women. But we've never realized how extraordinary this talent really is, because it's second nature by now for most of these people. We've given credit where credit is due, because we never give them enough thought and enough recognition. This is why during COVID-19 pandemic, each of this staff has really risen to the occasion with their creativity to provide services to our senior members. Some examples are virtual Zoom presentations, drive-in movies, drive-in bingo, the reassurance phone calls made to our members, and thousands of face masks made and donated to first responders and sold. These are just a few examples of your creativity. Because of you as a staff, our senior population has been able to not miss a beat when it comes to transportation and nutritional issues. Each of you are frontline workers. Due to this and all your great personalities, the board would like to present to each of you. First of all, I'm going to give you a commemorative coin manufactured by Western Heritage Company in Loveland, Colorado, for frontline workers, first responders, and healthcare workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. And then the other thing we're going to give you, we're going to give each of you a check representing a dollar amount bonus for each of you. Again, thank you, your staff members, for your extraordinary way, working above your job descriptions, being very flexible, and taking on many new responsibilities over the past many months, and for those we hope will continue in 2021 until we can again open to the public. So this is what they're getting. On one side of the coin, it talks about frontline workers. On the back side, it says Colorado Strong.
Thank you.
And then Debbie will get them distributed to the staff today.
Thank you.
Oh, you are quite welcome.
Could I add about two quick
You go ahead.
comments? As the treasurer, I like to talk about money. And I just wanted to say that the board the whole board fully endorsed doing this. And we really would like to have given more, being a poor nonprofit.
Yes.
But we did try to give a meaningful amount because of all of the, I'll say, extraordinary work you ladies have done. And not just the two of you sitting in here, but all of
Everybody.
you. You've all done a
That's
tremendous
right.
job. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. So thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you.
I will thank you from our staff. I cannot tell you, we are a village team. I can't do what I do without them, and we are all family. I hate to say that, but
Yes.
it
Yep.
rose from my heart, and we miss the hugs, the loves, and the cupcakes and cookies you guys just leave on our desk. The center is hollow without you in it, and it really is.
Yeah.
But we will see you again soon. We know
Yes.
that. So,
And Debbie made the comment the other day. She goes, "Oh, I miss those card players that come in and complain." And I'm going, I miss playing softball, hitting the ball to the outfield and have somebody catch it on a fly and out. And I said, those kinds of things, that's
we
what
miss
you really
making
miss.
coffee and dishes for
That's
you.
right. That's
Little
exactly
things.
right. Okay, the last thing I want to do, and I'll address this to Steve, and he can represent our board members. During the COVID-19 pandemic, our senior center board has risen to all the occasions that have arisen. Some issues more frequently than others. You all have used your creativity to provide much needed services to our seniors. Some of the decisions were unpopular. We had to make them, but they were necessary. You all just hung in there with the center and the staff to get the job done. You are our frontline workers. A big thank you to each of you. I would like to present to each of you a commemorative coin manufactured by Western Heritage Company of Loveland, Colorado, for frontline workers and first responders during the pandemic. Again, a big thank you to all of you for your work, and I again look forward to working with each of you in 2021. So I'm renewing your contracts, okay? You got that, guys? And for those of you who aren't present here today, the coin will be in your mailbox for the next time you're in the center. Okay, do we open for questions, comments?
If you guys all want to
Here, Steve.
unmute and
Steve,
ask us any questions or speak, we would love to hear from you.
yes,
Just have them unmute their mics.
Yeah.
It might be a free for all, but
yeah. If anybody has any comments or questions, now is when you can talk.
Well, I never pass up the opportunity to talk.
Okay,
I think all of you know that. But all I want to do is reiterate what was said about the staff. I've been a member of the senior center since early 15, which to some of you, that's not very long. But this staff we have now to me, it's unbelievable. They have always gone out of their way
Mhm.
when they could to help any one of us with pretty much anything. They will sit down and listen. And over the past year, I went through a very difficult period just a few months ago, as all of you well, some of you know. They were there. The COVID had already hit. They couldn't do much, but they certainly called me. All of the ladies called me and wanted to know how I was doing, and that was really, really something special for me. So, okay, I'll shut up. Thank all of you. Thank
Thank you,
all of
Charles.
the staff. That y'all are wonderful.
Any other comments? Oh, there's a, oh, that was just me talking. Okay, if there aren't any other comments, thank you, and everybody have a nice Thanksgiving. Stay healthy.
Please.
Yes.
Please,
Stay
please.
safe.
Yeah, you guys too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wear your
Happy
mask.
Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you. Here's your.
You're beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, I saw, I forget where I saw these and I'm going, yeah, I'll just order some.